Alright, this is my next tutorial. Have you ever wondered how to make a moving lift that will go up and down or left and right using the object position event known as keyframe animation in Trials? Well, it's really easy to do this. My friend Killer the Man wanted me to make a guide like this because usually these tutorials are not really on the internet and they're really hard to configure, or they're just worded in a different way. So you want to find more tutorials, just go to how-to guides. But right here is I'm going to make an elevator platform, as you're going to see right now. I'm going to go to structures. Let's make this window an elevator platform or a lift, right? Now, sometimes you'll go through an object, right? Which is pretty unfortunate sometimes, but if you do by accident go through an object, right? Then you can always use directional force to prevent that from happening, but right here we're not going to go into that. We're going to create a nice simple guide so you guys can understand how to make a lift. Obviously it's a simplified guide. I'm not going to put any extra realistic effects. I'm just going to make a lift that goes up and down. So what you need to do is you need something to trigger that lift. So I'm going to use a trigger point, and I'm going to select it to the driving line. You could select it as a box if you want for more of a challenge. I'm going to say only the bike so riders can't cheat. Right? So riders, and then I'm going to make go to common and make a fall area. I'm going to increase it to a rectangle, increase the size. Since this is longer than ever, I'm going to increase the size even more. There we go. Now people can't go there, they'll still die. Or they'll crash. Now I'm going to go to an event. I'm going to select a sound event. I'm going to select a state event. I'm going to select a delayed impulse. I'm going to select a data source. I'm going to select an interval. I'm going to select an object position event known as the OPE. And now what I'm going to do is just going to make a quick object position event right here. Right, so I'm going to say position Y. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select event filter, and then I'm gonna say 1 tick 16 milliseconds. I'm gonna say that. Now, since we want this to be an on-hit animation, we're going to add that with a state event to an on trigger and select the linear status. Now we want to select the object we want to animate up and down, so we select this lift right here as highlighted blue. Now we test it. Obviously it's going too high. So we're going to go for more realistic movement. We're going to go for quadrastic ease in out. We're going to go down to about a value of 6. That's pretty good. Let's say a value of 12. That's better. Now, we can't go going it too fast, right? So we're going to do a duration of 6 seconds. Then you get the numbers to line up. Come on, 6 seconds. Alright, 6 seconds. Now we just play our animation, you see right there. Alright, now we're gonna see where it went. Alright, now since we got that animation working, we're going to do another animation using the same thing, except we're going to go to position X. Since this animation works, we're going to turn it off. Now the next one is going to be a lift that goes that way. It works very well. Now we just need to increase the end value for a more precise movement. And remember, if we increase the end value, it will increase the speed because it's going longer. Alright. We're going to do 40. I'm going to stop at 40. And we're going to increase the speed to 7 seconds. Alright, now we have a 7-second speed. Now we're going to say on hit and we're going to turn it off. Now since we turned it off, we're going to have a delayed impulse 1 and 2, and the delayed impulse, select filter, select filter, so in 1 second this will work. Not the other one won't work in 1 second. We're going to go to our sound sources and select a nice Sorry about all those noises, I'm just trying to find the right one. Now we're going to select the impulse delayed filter. Now we're going to copy and paste the same thing again, and we're going to select the on event. We're going to copy and paste again. Up here. No, we're not. Delayed impulse. And select that as the event filter. Now, as the sound filter is going, we're going to select another delayed impulse. The reason why I'm doing this is because it's going to send a signal here, and then a signal here, depending how long the lift is. The lift is 360 ticks, 6 seconds. We're going to select this to 6 seconds. Come on. Must be an easier way to do this. Oh, come on, I was just there, okay. Now the machine will start and then end on its own, almost like a real machine. Alright, now since we have that in place, we need a start tick. The start tick, because it has a start and end tick, so this is kind of screwed right now. So the on hit has to share a filter again. Then we have another delayed impulse right there, so it matches the same thing, and then we're going to copy one of these again, these triggers, and we're going to say on hit to this delayed impulse to act as a trigger, and this delayed impulse will send a signal for this to start, and then this will end at a certain time in the 7-second marking. The level turn also has to have a delayed impulse, so it starts at a certain time, and then when that starts at a certain time, remember the delayed impulse is only delayed after 1 second, and it's usually very good to use delayed impulses for most of your mechanics, because then you can actually do set value times, so you can trigger certain stuff on whenever you want on a timer. So if you wanted to create even your own timer, delayed impulses will do the trick. That's why I'm using the delayed impulses for this. I know it's probably a little complicated, but you see, as I'm doing here, you see how I added another red marker? That's a series of triggers down there. You see where my cursor is? And then all these triggers are going to activate all this at the same time, but since that is a delayed impulse, everything's going to activate in 1 second. And anything else that's programmed differently will react in the next set amount of time. So this will react in 1 second. right? Now we're going to copy this to the x-axis, and this is going to react differently here as a second timer. Actually, you know what? Scratch that, because that doesn't make any sense. So basically what we got to do is you're going to use the same sound for both of the lifts. So now we're going to do a little bit of addition. 6 plus 7. You know what I mean? We're going to add it in. Alright. Which is 13 seconds. Alright, it was kind of hot in here. I gotta turn. Open the window. Alright, 13 seconds. So this lift will activate in. Will activate in 1 second, and then the duration runtime will be 13 seconds. We're going to have 3 level turns, 1 sharing each. We're not going to have them sharing each other. Don't want to go into any problems here. So the first one will activate the turn, right? Now we're going to have a delayed impulse for each and every one of these, reacting to this filter as a filter. And basically what's going to happen is in 8 seconds, because remember that delayed impulse adds 1 second, in 8 seconds this will turn, and in 14 seconds this will be the final locking position of the lift to make the locking sound as a one-shot, one-click sound. Now we will copy this trigger 2 more times. Sorry, this is getting complicated and a little bit unorganized, but if you want to make a professional map, then it's gonna get complicated. But the tools are here for trials. There's probably easier ways of doing this, but this is, I think, the easiest way for me. So this is the easiest way. Alright, unless you want Mutatus to show you a more complicated way, I guess. Alright. So the lift will go up, then it will go this way. Right, everything on a timer, everything's set well. And while you're on the lift, everything should work according to plan. You see? I hope I didn't go too fast to show you that the red arrows are filters and the blue arrows are ons. And any green arrows are going to be pick value targets. You see? Position X, position Y. And it is going to use 1 sound source and 3 individual sound sources. 1 to start, 1 to lock in the middle, and 1 to end. You fall here, you die. And this lift will go up according to the program animation of these coordinates right here that I have pre-programmed already. And all these should work according to plan. This one is just one in case I need to copy more. Let's see if it works. My rider sounds are off. You don't hear the sound. Okay, doesn't make any sense. Guess I shouldn't turned off the sound because this is screwing me up a lot. You see our problem already? You miss one thing, and there's the problem. So, if you're watching this tutorial and there's a problem, remember, it works. I just messed up one little problem. Look what happened. This lift has to start at position Y in 1 second, and then in 7 seconds, the next thing will start. But since the delay timer works, it has to start in 8 seconds. It can't be one, not even in 16 milliseconds off. So all our sound events with multi-select with the LB is going to be on enabled, static. Our next sound source is going to be on off, static. Static means that it will, and doesn't matter where it is in the environment, it will play as like a nearby object. Usually good for opening doors and stuff. But if you want to add a realistic, more realistic, like sound source, you may want to tie that animation with the sound source, so it drags the sound source with the animation. So when you make an object animate from point A to point B, since the sound is connected to that sound effect, it will play like almost like a jet going by, like a so it's like it's soft, loud, and then fades away, like fade in, fade out. And uncheck it so it doesn't play in the beginning. You see how it played? I'm gonna add the friction higher, maybe to max for this one. Friction means that the more friction I have, less chances I won't go off like ice. The less friction, the more icy my object, more slippery it will be. Alright. And that's how you make a lift with proper sound effects. Obviously the sound effects were not properly engaged, but this is just a general idea how to make a lift that goes up and side to side all in one direction. Obviously there's more object positioning stuff to doing, like making aircrafts and lowering aircrafts. Like you can combine the object position events of X, Y, and Z, yaw, pitch, and bank to make airplanes take off, which I'll later show in another tutorial. If you want me to make in a tutorial how to make a plane take off, just ask me. If you want me to do other tutorials, obviously my next tutorials are going to make it so I'm going to make a helicopter. Right, I've made tutorials without commentary and I was going a little fast. but I don't think it would help a lot of people, so that's why I'm putting commentary in these tutorials, to give players a better understanding how to create stuff in their trials tracks, because I know there's a lot of kids out there that doesn't have the knowledge to create stuff, and school is not really going to teach them this sort of stuff, because this is like quite at a high level, near the industry standard game development process, right? So it's going to be quite hard for people to learn this type of stuff, unless people like me usually go into the like gaming engines and stuff and try to figure out the stuff on our own. And usually this type of people like me are usually the ones that do the tutorials. So I hope that worked. I hope you find this guide useful. I know this guide was about almost 30 minutes long, but if you see here, there was a lot of stuff that I had to do, and I wanted to deliver this video in a way where it helps you. So if this video helped you, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in another trials tutorial with commentary. Alright.